Simplify it. You're doing too much. You are doing too much. One of the things that made Jeff Lebby a priority, I guess, whenever it comes to hiring, when it came to finding somebody to take over after what we saw from Lincoln Riley for a while, was he was really, really good at matchups. He was really good at finding one-on-ones. He was really good at exploiting those situations and putting his playmakers in a good spot. You saw him do it all the time at Ole Miss, and you saw him do it towards the end of the year last year. I mean, Marvin Mims, towards the end of the year when he started going off in 2022, you were finding those spots. And so I think this is a situation where, look, it's never as bad as it looks. It's never as good as it looks. You hear that a lot in the coaching profession, and it rings
Yeah.
true. I think a big problem right now with Oklahoma fans trying to transition into this new era is the explosive plays aren't there. The explosive plays aren't there right now. You had 7 plays against Kansas, who is one of the worst defenses in the Power Five. Still, they're better than they were last year, but they're still in the 90s, I believe, in total defense. You had 7 plays that were considered big plays. That's a rush over 10 yards or a pass over 15. They had 11 of those in this game, and
Oh my
so
gosh.
the explosive plays aren't there. All 33 points from Oklahoma came inside the Kansas red zone. So you're not scoring from far. And that's how many times did we hear that in the first year? Score from far. That's what he wants to do. He's gotten away from what he knows. And I don't know if this has something to do with him taking things personally with his, the family stuff that happened to begin the year. I don't know if he's just lost his way with what we've got personnel wise. He Andrell Anthony's gone, and he just can't get over the fact that you got to find, I think that there's plenty of playmakers out there. Drake Stoops has proven that he can fill in that void in the middle of the field that Andrell Anthony was, and you've got Brennan Thompson and Nick Anderson who are ready to stretch the field.
You got Nick
Hey,
Six, man.
yeah,
Nick Six.
yeah. Say win. Just say win. That's all that he's got to let him loose. I think yesterday you saw him. You saw the pick six, and it almost felt like at that point it was, we're not going to throw the ball. We're just going to run the ball. That's what we're going to do. We're better than they are. We can run the football. That's what we're going to do, and that's how we're going to win the game. And it just didn't play. It didn't pay off. So simplify it. You're getting too cute. Quit putting wide receivers in the backfield. Just run the damn ball with the running backs and throw the ball to open wide receivers. Let Dillon Gabriel work. That's
So
it.
it's funny you say that because, and some people have been mad at me for saying this. I like the Jaleel Fruit backfield plays only when we're actually running the freaking ball with actual running backs first. Like,
Right.
don't do it as a replacement. Do it as an enhancement. Do it as
Correct.
something to confuse everybody. Take your running back, move him to the slot, bring Jaleel in place for him, or switch the entire lineup and where Jaleel stops and the running back goes over. Make them realize, oh, you're putting Jaleel back there. You're probably going to throw it to the running back or something on a wheel route. You're gonna match up a running back with the linebacker to confuse things. Don't do it as a replacement. Do it as an enhancement.
Yep.
It eats me up. It was right. The play's fun when you're, like I said, using running back. And like you said, you don't use, like I said, don't use it as a replacement, as an enhancement. Cool. Talk to me.
I mean, my number one thing is the accountability piece because, if Levy does have some issues with everything, from the, Art Browse coming on the field, then you're not ready for this type of a program. I mean, this has been your job now. There were always odd things that were happening last year, but last year was just an odd year. So like this year, we have, again, when I said this is a good team, this is a really good team, but when you combo up turnovers, poor play calling, I mean, damn near sabotage, kind of felt like at times. Like, like seriously, like what is going on? And again, when you knew that Kansas was going to go for it on fourth down, and they'd have like a 3rd and 7, they would hand the ball off and run and try to cut that down, so they would go for a 4th and 3. And Lebby is watching them do it on the other side, and he's like, "Well, I'm smarter than them, so let's do a quarterback draw, or hey, let's do some weird jet sweep." And there was just so many times where I was like, does he see what's happening, and does he? I mean, when you're looking at a play and he's like, he's never seen this outcome before. It's because we're just running random crap instead of just getting to your offense. And I think that, DeMarco really does need. I mean, like when I say that there's a coming to Jesus meeting that needs to happen, I think that has to be with all of them, because, what makes you and your significant other like do things really, really well and manage life together is you've seen what, if you see something from her, she's going to be a certain way. That's the same thing with this, is the running backs are having massive issues because the offensive line, and then like the offensive line also doesn't know what's happening because the running backs change every week. And if Lebby is the architect of this offense, so I do want to point out Quentin's super chat, because Quentin's super chat,
I do.
It was kind of funny. Kind of funny.
I saw it. $1. It's $1.99 because Quentin's infamous for throwing $2 at people, man. He cracks me up because he does that at everybody's show, just more of a troll. He's a Texas fan. Should have practiced instead of making T-shirts. Guess what, Quentin? We did. We practiced. We practiced, but it's all right. Don't worry about it. We beat Texas. That's all that matters right at this point for you, buddy. And the Kansas that y'all lost to had a combined 2 wins. Both games.
Again.
Listen, but I get you, man. Good. That's funny. That's funny. I appreciate the troll.
If you're not going to commit, present a Texas team that's worthy, to contribute to anything nationally or even in the Big 12, you got to go with humor and trolling, because it's one of those two things, right?
I mean, we beat Texas' best team in 15 years, and they beat our worst team last year in 20 years. So it just tells you the perspective you gotta have the context there, right? But here's my thing. Dillon Gabriel is the top quarterback in the Big 12 still, even after this atrocious game. He leads the conference in passing yards, leads the conference in yards per attempt, leads in touchdowns, and I think he has the second lowest in interceptions. I think he's number 2 in interceptions. No, actually, he's number 7. He's behind a lot of backup quarterbacks, but whatever. Highest rated, most yards per game. Dillon Gabriel leads everything in the Big 12, and he's top 15 in the nation right now. Why aren't we just letting this dude go? Like, I know people want to complain and say think that Dillon Gabriel ain't it, and I had somebody jump in my comments, and I love him to death. Good YouTube viewer, and he was like, "I want to see Jackson Arnold now." Wait, you want to see Jeff Lebby run the jackhammer with Jackson Arnold as a starting quarterback instead? Like, I don't think y'all understand what we're dealing with here. And this has been my issue with the Lebs. He ain't going to do no different with Jackson Arnold. It's probably going to be worse. It's going to probably be worse. Because in his offense is all about ratios. And the other thing with that is that a lot of times he's telling you where to throw the ball. Jackson is still young and learning the offense. He's going to follow what Lebby tells him, or he's going to run it. And y'all going to have issues with him being the jackhammer after a while. You're like, well, why don't he throw the ball? I don't know, because Jackson Arnold didn't see the open guy yet. It's a lot of anticipation. And